Good evening and welcome to the Carver Redevelopment Authority meeting of April 18th, 2023. I'll call this meeting to order. Our treasurer, Pat Mahar, is not here this evening. And the first thing on the agenda is our Route 44 project update. So we have some minor updates, only in that town meeting did revert the, help me out, guys.
Maximum height of the building.
Thank you. The maximum height of the building from 65, which was voted in last year, to 40. Now, it's my understanding that he has, Route 44 has filed a preliminary subdivision plan, and our town planner, Tom Bott, is here this evening, so if he could give us walk me through what, it was supposed to be heard tonight, but that meeting has been postponed till next week.
Regardless of when it's heard, it was submitted prior to town meeting.
Okay.
So Massachusetts general law allows people to grandfather their zoning if they file a subdivision plan prior to town meeting. Mm-hmm. They can also file an A&R plan, which provides 3 years of protection. But a subdivision plan allows an applicant to grandfather their property for 8 years from the date of endorsement. So as long as you file a plan prior to town meeting, you are in the queue. Massachusetts general law also states the planning board shall approve a subdivision plan. So it's not a discretionary item from the planning board. If someone comes in and their plan meets the requirements of the bylaw, then the board, is obliged to approve it at some point. So a preliminary plan is what starts off this, because it's an industrial subdivision. For a residential subdivision, I mean, this is another question you asked. For a residential subdivision, the preliminary plan is optional. For a non-residential subdivision, the preliminary plan is required.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So they file the preliminary plan, and it'll be heard by the board. And then at some point, within 7 months of applying for the preliminary plan, they have to file for a definitive plan. If for some reason they don't in that time period, then that falls by the wayside, and the attempt to grandfather their zoning falls by the wayside as well.
So it's a two-part approval. So they've
preliminary plan required.
Preliminary plan filed before town meeting when the zoning was changed, and then within 7 months of the endorsement?
Within 7 months of the application.
Of the original, so 7 months of the original date, they have to file a definitive plan. And at that, after the definitive plan, can they make minor modifications, like move lot lines? Does that do anything to it, or?
Yeah, in fact, after the subdivision plan is done, you can change all the lot lines, because that is essentially an A&R plan.
Right.
Because what the subdivision does is it identifies the roadway. So the primary thing that a subdivision does is puts a roadway on the plan that creates frontage for additional lots in the future.
Okay.
So anybody can come and change those lot lines with an A&R plan before the planning board.
Okay. And is that plan available on the planning website?
It is.
It is, okay. I had not seen it yet, so I will check it out.
So can I ask a question?
I wouldn't dare stop you.
So all that went on at town meeting, and they went ahead, even though you got up and spoke, they went ahead and voted to put it back to 45, that one. When the information gets put together by the town clerk and creates minutes, will she go to you and ask you about that? Or will she just say that the vote was successful to 45, blah, blah, blah?
She'll say the vote was successful to 40.
I'm sorry, 40.
But that, my comments will be likely in the minutes, but they bear no effect on the change of the zone.
Will the AG, I think the point I'm trying to make is, will the AG be aware of the fact that they filed a subdivision plan?
No, I don't know.
They don't need to be.
Because it's nothing we report out. What we report out to the AG is when we have hearings, what were the votes?
Yeah.
So the AG will say, okay, the vote was changed, so the bylaw's gonna get changed,
Yeah, more than likely,
huh?
more than likely,
To 40.
back to 40.
Yes.
So it's back,
I
if,
don't-
if,
Then what good was the holding?
So it's 40 feet, and as the fire chief said, while I understand that they are grandfathered from that height for 40 years, the fire department doesn't look at, or, well, the fire chief said, I understand the plan will be grandfathered for that time period, 8 years. I, the fire chief, am looking beyond the 8-year period.
Yeah.
Because after that 8 years, it reverts to the zoning that's in place.
So,
so if he hasn't built it out,
Correct.
okay, that's fine,
Or if he doesn't do a definitive plan.
Correct.
right.
so if a developer comes to Route 44, and they wanna put up some sort of a distribution or whatever you want, they have to go to buy the 40 feet?
If they're in the, or if they are on the property, if they're subject of the preliminary plan, they do not. So all those parcels, that outline of the property, anything that happens within that area will be grandfathered from
To
the
the,
endorsement.
to the 65?
Right.
Oh, okay.
And that would be even if he sold the entire parcel for development rights, it runs with the land.
It runs with land,
Right.
okay. All right. Oof.
So
And,
the bylaw changes, but he still has an exemption.
Well, the fire chief has a big problem anyway. He can't even support 40, because that 40B hearing, he was very open about it, so.
we'll have to see, I've spoken with George, he says there is some interest, George McLaughlin, the owner, part owner of Route 44. He says there's some interest, he doesn't have anything definitive that he's speaking about necessarily. So I think it's, for us, we have that kind of on one side, and if it stays at whatever, if it ends up reverting completely back to 40, we're back to our big notebook, right where we started. Okay. Is there
And
any-
that, you said their subdivision plan's on the website, and that has the date of the application?
Likely it does.
Okay.
Oftentimes, we just put the plan up, we don't put the whole application up.
Okay, well, I mean, but that starts the 7-month clock.
Right. So that's,
So-
then the clock starts with things being stamped into the town clerk's office.
Okay.
So the planning board will go through it with a fine tooth comb, hoping to find something.
Well, we go through everything with the fine
Yeah.
tooth comb, hoping to find something.
But all they can do is ask him to fix it. They
No-
can't deny it.
Oh, they can't deny
Yeah,
it?
nobody gets a pass. There was
Oh.
this project, what was it, 90 Forest, was that what it was?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was a while
It's
back.
not-
In the minutes.
It's not in the minutes, I mean, it's in the minutes, but it's not on the agenda, and now you went and brought it up.
Sorry, but that's one of those cases where a project came through that had a lot of public support, and we went through with a fine tooth comb, if that's what we're supposed to do. We review it, consulting engineer reviews it, and points things out that gotta be fixed.
Did you have a question?
No, sorry.
Okay. I haven't, I've spoken just briefly with representatives of the eminent domain family, and we just.
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to Kathleen about it.
Surely.
To claim the money, and we just haven't got it all together yet. I think it's all gonna come in like at one, to claim the 37.95, whatever we're holding.
Yeah, okay.
But I think is there anything else on Route 44 anyone wants to bring up?
No.
Have they been before Concom? I know they've been before about
Years ago.
I mean, didn't they go before Concom about remediating some soil, like putting a liner in or something?
Yes.
And is that,
PFAS.
right,
Oh, yeah,
is that going forward, or?
It was approved
It was
3-2.
approved. Okay.
It was,
I haven't gone up there, so I don't know if any
so they're
work's
gonna
being
go
done.
through the digging it out and,
no, they're going
No,
to put a liner
They're
in
gonna
it.
put a liner in it.
It's the standard practice. Digging it out is financially unfeasible.
Well, they have to dig the PFAS until they can put the liner in, right? Then they put the PFAS back in?
They isolate where the PFAS is, then they put a rubber liner over it.
Oh, over it.
Over it, so that any rainwater that seeps down goes around it and doesn't go through the PFAS, therefore dripping it into the aquifer. No, there are little bits of PFAS probably everywhere.
I would tell you, yeah.
So to have them remove it would, I think George would, he'd spend a lot of money there, but I think that would make him walk away. And then the PFAS stays there forever with
Yeah.
nothing done.
Well, if I remember correctly, not George, but the other guy told us they were gonna dig it out, put this liner in, put it all back in, put something on top of it, concrete, but nothing could be built on it except a parking lot.
Right, they're going to, they know there are 3 areas where the PFAS is concentrated, and they're going to be able to make those areas smaller.
Right.
Make it more concentrated and then cover them. 2 of the 3. The third one is underwater runoff from across the street at Ravensbrook.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that's coming from somewhere else. That's not.
Probably North Carver, Plymouth Street. That's
No, it's
probably-
coming from the dump across the street next to Weston's Box. The old dump on Plymouth Street.
Plymouth Street,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that one, they're at the whim of water flowing underneath their property, as opposed to being able to isolate it on their own property.
Yeah,
But the other 2 sections, they're going to be able to isolate it and kind of scrunch it all together, as the major sources of it, and then cover it.
okay.
Do they have a time frame for that?
I don't believe so. I mean, our permit's good for 3 years,
Okay.
so,
That's what I was asking, if there was a time frame within the permit.
yeah, I don't know what other permits they may have to go. They probably have Board of Health to do something with that, but we gave them the okay to do that, as opposed to 2 members wanted them to dig it all up.
What property is this?
This is the
North Carver,
the North Carver property,
Carver. It's on.
behind Aubuchon. So,
If they dug it up, well, they wouldn't be able to sell it anyway or push it away. Who
no one,
wants it?
no one will take it.
Yeah, right,
That's-
exactly.
You can't, and if it's, where do you draw the line as to what concentration has to be removed and what's okay to stay? The common practice right now, the preferred practice right now is to cap it and cover it and not let rainwater filter through it.
Right.
Carry it
right.
off. I think if they're going before the planning board next week, the meeting was changed to next Tuesday.
Tentatively the 25th.
Okay. I won't be here. But I think if it's going through then, I'd like to ask George or Bob Delholm to come to our next meeting and just give us another update about what's going on.
Okay.
Do they have to be present, either one of George or
It
Bob?
would be unusual for an applicant not to be present.
Yeah.
Unusual, okay.
I believe he was planning on sending his engineer with the plan. So, when I talked to him today, and probably a lawyer. But.
Would
so
that
I
be
will-
our next meeting, you're planning on asking them to come here?
Probably.
Probably.
I would think so,
I
yeah.
want to, I just think they ought to just start coming in every few months
Yeah,
and
I would
giving us
think
an
so,
update.
You said you're not here next Tuesday?
I'm not here next Tuesday.
All right,
Your chair?
I'll go.
Go,
The plan.
oh, to the planning board, yeah. Yeah, I was planning on shooting up, because this is a very small agenda today, so I was going to go up and watch it, but if you could go, Savory, that would be great. And tomorrow night, we have the Conservation Commission.
Yes.
Right. Which we will be presenting the plan of Wade Street. As far as the encroachment goes, I've spoken with them, and plans are well underway. They had to make some adjustments they decided to actually move the building onto their property, which requires a little bit of prep work and money.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty, 20 by
It's a
16.
pretty big barn.
Yeah, it's
but-
pretty big.
16 by 20.
So,
Yeah.
so tomorrow night, let's see, he'll be there, I'll be there. We just present the plan and offer it to the Conservation Commission. Savory, if you can just, would this be something that waiting until the encroachment is completely off the property that needs to happen, or?
I don't think so, as long as we have something in writing from the Boulets that they're
Okay.
going to remove everything.
Okay, I'll
And
see
I
if I can
think
get
it's
that.
incumbent upon us as the RDA, after they say they have removed everything, to go on a site visit and make
Okay.
sure that they have.
Okay, I'll check with them tomorrow then.
Yes.
Oh, no, wait for the chair.
Oh,
I'm just writing, go ahead.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're following the procedures here, not just shouting things out. So I'm assuming that agreement will be with a time certain to remove the structure?
Weren't you supposed to get something from Kathleen? You were gonna try to pull that all together?
We were doing the Wade Street people, so, I'm not Wade Street people, the Montello Street. So, she would, would the Concom want the RDA to drop the deed and such?
I would think so.
Yes, okay. I got
I
that.
thought we had some discussion in a prior meeting where you had things from the Boulets, but they were like text, and you were going to.
There were, but I don't have like a letter if,
We would need something in writing
Right.
saying, as to Mr. Bott's point, have an end date of when everything would be removed. I think we had talked to them informally about the end of June,
yeah, I was gonna say,
so that's
Give him-
2.5 more months.
oh, you're right, okay. So would that be, I'm trying to think of whether we should just say 90 days or,
Well, whatever
July
it is, whatever it is, what has to be in the agreement with the Boulets is that, and what the conservation is going to want is a letter stating that within 90 days, or
Okay.
at the end of 90 days, or by June 30th,
Okay.
that everything will be removed, and that the Redevelopment Authority will go on a site walk to make sure that everything is off the property.
They want a copy of that Mylar?
well, they can get a paper copy.
What I'm saying, you're talking about going back to art and doing something about shadowing,
Oh, he's ghosting it.
ghosting or whatever, so it looks clean.
Right,
Yeah,
so that it says to be removed.
yeah. Because they'll file that with the registry,
It'll be filed with the deed.
yeah.
Right, but I mean, it's getting the property transferred isn't going to happen overnight.
No.
But I'm okay with starting the process.
Okay.
Based on an agreement with the Boulets to get everything off there.
And would the deed transferring it be after it's all done?
Usually.
Don't have to, right?
Yeah, I think.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we would
you know
go-
more than I do. Does a deed have an effective date?
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely.
So, yeah, so
the day
whatever,
we sign it.
whatever date we give to Boulets to get everything off there, have it maybe a week later in case we
Okay.
go and find that there are things that they still have to remove, and we give them a week to do it.
Okay, good date of 6:30 to remove. Okay. I'll check with her again tomorrow.
Planning board meeting tonight?
No, it's been canceled.
All right, thank you.
Next week. All right, is there anything else on Wade Street anybody wants to bring up?
No, I don't think so. I just want to make sure that when you're talking with them, to make sure that they know that anything else that's theirs, that's on the property, has to be moved.
Such as the electrical lines or,
Electrical lines.
That's right.
Old tractors,
Yeah.
sheds, garbage.
From that pole, there is electricity going
Right.
to their property, so that has to,
Yeah, we have to receive that property free and clear.
why don't I try and set up a meeting, 1st of May? I'm out of state for the next couple, for a
Okay.
bit. So I'll get that information to him tomorrow and then set up a meeting between maybe you and me, to just go over and talk to them again. Maybe walk through their plans. Yes or no?
I would tell you, yes, because the plan should
I'm
not be
thinking,
removed.
now that you mentioned that, I'm thinking maybe what we may want to do is, as the RDA, do a site visit sooner,
Okay.
so we can point out everything,
Oh, that's true.
that has to go.
Okay, so
'Cause
why don't
it's
I?
been flagged, right? The property's been marked and flagged?
Yep.
So,
I think Art said today there was either one more boundary that had to go in,
okay,
but as far as the property goes, he had one more marker to put in.
okay, well, I think then maybe we should do something in early May
Okay.
of going there as the RDA.
Okay,
Site visits are allowed, they are not a violation of open meeting law.
let me just glance at my calendar so I can just get some dates.
All right,
You have a tentative May 11th or May 15th, I know.
What's that?
I know you have a tentative May 11th or May 15th on your calendar.
I do?
I have it on my calendar with your new email.
Oh, you're right. We wanted to come, that's an entirely different
I know,
subject.
I know. But
That's-
just wanted to make sure there was.
so that
Yes.
was for me, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
no, that's, but you're right.
No proper nouns.
So I think we should do that, that way we can identify things other than just the barn.
Right, exactly, as you see it.
And-
And you
and
can
get-
see
that would give
what
them-
else is on there as well.
That would give them more time to move it so that everything can be done by the date that we state.
What if it had a foundation?
It doesn't, I don't
doesn't?
believe, not a foundation.
No, I think it's got
on
cinder blocks.
Cinder blocks,
Oh, okay.
so,
If it had its foundation, you bring in a guy with a jackhammer.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, all the more reason you want to go look at it.
okay, so you want to shoot for maybe a site visit the week of May 8th?
I can do that.
Can you do that?
Well, can you post it so we can go?
Well, I will do that.
Okay.
So.
Can we have the conservation agent come? He was good.
We can ask him.
we
Can you ask him?
Okay.
Yeah, we can ask him, you can ask him tomorrow night, or we can talk about it tomorrow night.
Oh, that'll be good, because he's good. He's good.
Okay, we'll bring this up, and maybe I'll have some answers from the family by then,
Okay.
okay? Is there anything else?
So the week of, but nothing,
I can't pick out a date until I know
are you
that.
gone? Aren't you going away for?
I'm coming back, I'll be back
Oh,
by
you'll be
then.
back,
Yeah.
oh, okay, fine.
I'll be back by then, assumably. I can't stay in Florida that long. Okay, do you have anything on Wade Street that we need to know? Nope, okay. There was a question of whether they would need a building permit to move the building. I don't know whether they've been into,
Just a permit to demolish a building.
no, they're picking it up and moving it onto their.
Based on the size of the structure, they're likely going to have a permit to put it on their site.
Okay,
It's under the,
It's under 200 square feet? I thought you said 16 by 20.
no, I thought needing a permit for an outbuilding was like 700 square feet.
I think it's 200.
no, that's a permit, that's like as of right. Anything bigger, you come to the zoning board, but that would be as of right. I assume if you're building something of that size. I didn't know if you needed a building permit to just move it onto your property. So we should make sure that they stop in and see you,
The building.
or something. Mr. Palmer. Okay, see, building. I always come away with so many notes here.
That'll put them on a tax roll.
Well, they wanted to, they were given the option of moving the building and keeping it, or
Tearing it down.
having us tear it down
Yeah.
and build them for it,
Right.
the raising, so. But I still think it's the right thing to do for the street and the property. Topics not anticipated by the chair. I have nothing.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
You can all be the chair today.
You,
Okay, members' notes?
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything?
well, you were gonna ask Mr. Bott, I was interested in the TDRs and stuff like that.
Right, that's the meeting that we talked about, that was going to be
Oh,
in May 15th.
yeah.
Is that-
Has it been decided?
Well, I have both tentative for May 11 and May 15th on my calendar.
Okay.
Which day?
Friday's fine,
Okay.
May 11th.
That's a Thursday.
Time?
I have 2 PM, but likely just because I plugged in
You just plugged it
plug
in?
in something in your phone, it just makes that date,
Okay.
that time.
So, May 11th at 2-ish, and we will confirm that.
Okay, thank you.
TB. Is that okay with you? Is the
Yeah, that's
afternoon
fine.
okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like mornings better?
No, I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person.
Okay, and that was to discuss some of the TDR things
Yes,
that you brought up at the
exactly.
last
Yep,
meeting.
thank
Is
you.
there anything else for this meeting?
To discuss? No.
Trying to get out of here in half an hour.
I just want to, under the zoning laws, it says, and I don't know exactly what this means, it says dimensional regulations, accessory uses. Accessory structures may not be placed within required yards, provided, however, that the garages, tool sheds, shops, well houses, and the like shall not exceed a floor level of 700 square feet. So, I don't know if that means they don't need a permit, or
I
just they
always
can.
defer to the building commissioner.
Okay.
The building commissioner, okay.
Oh, so I'll make sure they talk to him and not you. See, Palmer. The
My
minute,
brother-in-law built a garage that's 694 square feet.
Oh, wow.
just didn't want to come to zoning, huh?
His builder said, we gotta keep it under 700.
I just have one thing, Sharon,
Oh, okay.
from the report, Town of Carver, you created the report.
Yes.
And I just wanted it to be read into the record. I don't know if you brought your book, but I got it here. How could we do that short of you having to read it? It should be read into the record because that's an accomplishment, I feel.
I can read it. It was our annual report.
Right. It just discloses,
How long was it when I wrote this?
I don't know, but
It was
that's it.
back in February.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
gonna just watch the tape about that part of it.
Yeah, why don't you?
Thank you all, good night.
Okay,
All right.
Bye, thank you.
I'll touch base with you again, Tom. Do you actually want it, shall we read this, or can we just attach it?
You have to read it, I guess. How is it gonna be read into the record?
This
Can you
was
just
our,
attach-
this was our annual report from last year. The Carver Redevelopment Authority is responsible for the oversight of the development of the Green Business Park as part of the urban renewal project that is so designated by the town of Carver. In 2022, the preferred developer, Route 44 Development LLC, continued to explore an agreement with the Hillwood companies to develop a distribution facility on the site. The CRA proposed several zoning bylaw amendments approved by the Select Board and supported by the Planning Board at the 2022 annual town meeting that would make the site more attractive in a changing market, especially concerning automation and storage. The amendments were passed overwhelmingly and were approved by the Massachusetts Attorney General in September. Due to procedural delays and a changing economic climate, the Hillwood companies and Route 44 Development LLC terminated their agreement in November. The CRA continues to work with Route 44 Development LLC to develop a project that will expand the commercial tax base in Carver as well as create local jobs and ancillary business opportunities. The CRA is also responsible for the disposal of town-owned properties that have been specifically deeded to the CRA. In September, the CRA conveyed 94th Street, also known as 0 North Main Street, to a private business, returning $37,944.71 to the treasurer in repayment of the back taxes owed at the time of the tax lien foreclosure. This property is now on the commercial tax rolls. In keeping with the memorandum of understanding between the CRA and the town of Carver, The CRA also returned the proceeds of the sale to the town of Carver in the amount of $105,893.09. At the close of 2022, the CRA is in discussions with the Conservation Commission in order to offer a 6.3 acre parcel on Wade Street, formerly the recreation area, for the Vaughn Estates subdivision to their care and custody, submitted by Sharon Clark, Chairman.
Thank you.
So that's what we did last year.
Do you want me to put that in the minutes? I can take a screenshot, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
can you take a screenshot now? It'll save me from having to chase it down again. We have the minutes of 3:28. Our minutes were created by the tape alone, and as sometimes this happens, there was a technical glitch where the first few minutes were not covered, and I did not feel comfortable trying to recreate whatever conversation we had on the topic at that meeting. So they are prepared with a notation and a disclaimer at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think the first 10 minutes were discussing the Wade Street property.
Really? We usually do Route 44 first.
Yeah.
And I can't,
The recording started out with Joanna talking, and she was talking about Route 44, so.
okay.
Oh, okay. And then, all right.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. We were on Route 44, right.
Yeah, we always, that's my template for the agenda.
It's gonna change
Now
a bit.
I had to move 94th Street out of the second spot.
Yeah, it's gonna move.
Are there any changes that you
I
wish to
didn't
make?
find any, and as far as I'm concerned, it was okay.
Is there a motion to accept these minutes?
So
As
moved.
written?
What did he say? Did he make a motion?
No,
You moved, he seconded.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are on to our next meeting. Town elections are this Saturday, April 22nd.
Oh, yeah.
So we will reorganize at that meeting. And so you have Concom the 3rd and 17th, right?
Yes.
So is the 16th good?
When is your Concom meeting?
He does the
I
first
have
and
it
third.
on the first and third Wednesdays.
Oh, first and third.
Wow, there's 5 Wednesdays in May.
Yeah, we don't do the fifth one. We
That just happens.
get a break. We get a day off.
Good God, you're gonna get like 3 weeks off.
So are we doing the 23rd?
No, he has the 17th. We usually follow the night before, so the 16th?
Okay,
Is everyone comfortable with the 16th?
Yeah, no problem.
yeah.
Yeah, as of right now, yes. I gotta check, but
Okay.
yes, let's say that.
All right, we'll put it
I'm
in.
going
as-
away the 19th for a while, a couple of weeks. So,
Okay, so we better get it in on the 16th. So,
So the 16th at 6:30?
6:30.
Okay.
Pat did submit I didn't even put it on the agenda, a treasurer's report, but we'll take care of it at the next meeting. But it wasn't even on the agenda anyway. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Good.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, thank you.